everybody. Welcome to a very special episode of the GPRO Podcast with your host, Jun Ho. And then now I've got a very special guest next to me. It's current GPRO Elite champion, Jan Velske. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks. Thanks for having me.
No, did I pronounce your name right? I don't know if I did.
No, I think it was good.
It's Jan, and then how do you pronounce your surname?
Velske.
Velske, okay, yeah. I didn't know if it was two syllables or one syllable, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. How you been so far? How's the weather over in Germany? Are you in Germany?
I'm standing in front of my window, but it's raining at the moment. So even though my face is quite bright, it's not due to the sun. It's due to the light up here.
Fair enough.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Yeah, we're. It's very well. It's hot according to the UK. It's very hot according to the UK, but yeah, I'm like sweating. I've got like my doors closed because I don't want too much noise coming in. And yeah, it's very sweaty at the moment. So forgive me if I look a bit shiny, but no, a lot of people have requested this podcast with you, Jan, because obviously you've announced in GPRO that you're retiring after this season, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, we just want to go through, learn more about yourself, learn how you found GPRO and all that kind of stuff. So, firstly, introduce yourself, Jan. Who are you? How old are you? Where you live? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm Jan. I'm 23 years old at the moment, and I'm studying physics and sports science. I'm currently doing my master degree, which is the second degree after bachelor. Not sure if it's familiar everywhere in the world, so it's the normal studying system here. And I will become a teacher after that. So I have a practical semester coming after September. And then I will write my master thesis, and then I will have it's called a referendariat, where you go to school for 1.5 years, and then you get your practical experience, and then you have your final exams. And if you pass, then you have done you're a teacher and can start working officially.
Fair. What uni are you going to?
What?
What university are you going to?
I'm here in Bielefeld, which is about 15 kilometers where I live. So I'm just commuting there and living at home. So I could stay here and just driving 35 minutes. So it's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad, having a university near where you live. It's good. So after what are you going to become a teacher of? Like, what are you going to teach? Who are you going to teach? Are you going to teach like younger children, or are you going to teach like more like uni kind of?
I will teach in my subjects, physics and sports. Maybe math is quite, would also be possible. So I think it's quite close to physics in school, knowledge-wise. But then I will be educating in 5th to 12th grade, so on the higher schools. And be a physics teacher there. Primary school is not really a good idea for physics because it's not a subject there.
That makes more sense now. That makes more sense, yeah.
I mean, our school system is we have maybe it's a bit controversial, but we have the Gymnasium, which is for the better kids. We have Gesamtschule, which is a mixture where you basically all kind of all kind of schools are combined. We had Realschule, which was kind of the middle for the middle good kids, and we had Hauptschule for the worst, but it had such a bad image that they basically, I think it doesn't really exist anymore. So yeah, but I think there is always room for improvement, but I think the school system is not that terrible. There's always someone moaning, but compared to the world, I think you're fine. So
yeah, you will never have anything that will be 100% happy with it. No, you're not going to get everyone happy on everything. So, But yeah, it does sound like a much better system than in the UK. I mean, in the UK we don't really have systems like that. I mean, we do have like private school and like public schools and state schools and that kind of stuff. But yeah, we don't have it as many kind of categories as you seem to do in Germany over there. So it's very interesting to learn. It's definitely interesting to learn like the school systems of every like country, because it's always going to be something different, between yours and someone else's. So it's really interesting. Well, let's firstly talk about the common interest between us two, which is GPRO. So how did you find the game? Like, when did you find it? How did you find it?
Well, I found it pretty much 6 years ago, and I remember I had school holidays. I was still going to school back then. It's quite a time has passed. Um, and I had some time to spare because I didn't have to go to school, and I was actually looking for games where you actually race yourself, something like iRacing, or at least a high-end computer game where you race against the computer. But somehow GPRO appeared in the Google search results, and I opened it. It was a manager game, which also sounded interesting, and I I always liked numbers. So when I was a kid, I played online poker. Of course, not for money.
Not back then. Not back then. Yeah, yeah.
After that, I got into chess, and that was I was missing a few numbers there. Physics was numbers, and GPRO. I liked the starting page. There were a lot of statistics and so on. So I was kind of hooked there, even though it wasn't what I was initially looking for. But at first, I think GPRO is generally very overwhelming when you join. I think you have no clue what you're supposed to do. Your office is very, very difficult to get an overview and understand, and also you're not getting that much help. To be honest, everybody's just saying you need to find that out by yourself, and you screw like the first 10 races easily, completely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was kind of ambitious. The numbers I liked, and then I was like, I'm annoyed when I do mistakes and I do not well. And in the first races, I did absolutely terrible. I had of the first race, I think I decided in the race strategy I saw you can do 0 to 100 clear track risk, and I was like, okay, just go for the golden middle 50, and I just smoked all level 1 parts in race 1, and I was like, how I'm supposed to handle my finances if I need to replace the car every race.
Yeah.
Then at the second race, the weather changed like 7 times, and my final stint was 10 liters because I was like, I'm not needing 5 stops anyway. Yeah. So then I pitted because my final entry was always 10 liters. And I also run, I think, always the wrong setup. And I waited 3 laps to pit because there was like how many laps to wait? I don't know, 0, 1, 2, 10. So I went with 3.
Yeah.
And then I always did 3 laps on the wrong tires, and the weather changed like 1,000 times, and I did the half of the race on the wrong tires, and I came second last that race in rookie, and the only guy behind me was doing the whole race on wrong tires, and he wasn't even that far behind. So
God,
I wasn't doing that well. I came third last in my first rookie season, and after that I just made promo by 4th place. But yeah, at that point I was hooked because I wanted to see where it goes, if I can get to amateur, pro, master, and just curiosity.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, like when I started, I had no idea why I carried on playing. Like when I started, there was like you said, there was no help. There was no like little like tutorial or anything to teach you kind of what to do. All you got to do is like put numbers in. You got your car parts, you got that stuff, and then you got the amount of fuel that you need, and it's just like all confusing. And yeah, like you said, you make a lot of mistakes initially at the start, especially when you don't have help. Yeah, I don't know how I carried on playing, to be honest. Like finishing like second to last, third to last, like every race, you're just like, why am I still here? But no, glad that you managed to stay on, because obviously you're one of the best managers around now. But
I think when you start playing, I felt like the races are an eternity apart because you screw the race and then you need it takes just very long to collect data because usually you're at your own when you start, so you don't have a team contributing any data sets until you have like a proper amount. You're playing like 100 years alone. So at first I felt like waiting for the next race was an eternity, while now in the past season it was like, oh no, it's Tuesday or it's Friday again. Oh, I need the race.
Yeah, now it's not enough time. Before it's like too long. Now it's like, yeah. No, I get what you mean now. So you said you promoted to amateur on your second season. How did you find amateur, pro, master, that kind of level as you were playing throughout the seasons?
Well, actually, I was pretty new to the game, so the difficulty degree I felt was rather it pretty much stayed the same because I was improving myself. So actually, I think rookie was the hardest division for me from my feeling because I didn't have a tool, I didn't run a proper setup, and I just had no data. So when I think back. I actually feel like rookie feels like the hardest division, apart maybe from
Yeah.
elite, but because it was just new. And then there was a team which wrote me a message actively and asked if I was interested to get a test membership. And I joined that team. Not officially, I joined the forums as a test member, but I got kicked out at the end because I was maybe the team was not extremely good, but they were, I mean, very confident in what they did, and I was like, I thought it was not right, and I thought it would be better to do it like this, and I didn't like that I was a new member, and I told them how they should do things, and also I remember I was very curious and very ambitious, and this is probably the main reason, to be fair, I got kicked out because I ran another test membership in another team at the same time, and I didn't tell them because I thought like two teams download the info.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
And then I after that I finally got kicked out, but I think they were a bit annoyed from the start because they said I was talking like I was racing in elite, and then but I was an amateur, and I think I'm still arrogant, but now people are more forgiving. So then I ended in Hornet, which was I think the best German-speaking team at the time, even though it was a bit past its prime. And but it was very good. They had quite good knowledge. They had a few people racing in elite once in a while. And when you're an amateur, this is quite a good knowledge boost. And they had a tool which helped a lot with setup and saved a lot of work. So I think I learned a lot of that from that. But there were a lot of people retiring from their team, and they were not really motivated anymore. And the team went a bit down. I tried to get it up again, but didn't really work.
Fair. I mean, there's only so much you can do to a declining team before it's crumbles underneath your feet. But yeah, like I said, from looking at your thing, you stayed there for good 12 seasons. So you did spend more than enough time to try to build it back up. And obviously during that time, you've quickly promoted from amateur to pro to master, then to elite in only like your 9th or 10th season. Did the game feel too easy for you back during that time? Like, because obviously you just kept promoting and kept going up, and did you feel like you understood the game?
No, I think looking back, I think I managed terribly during those seasons. But well, I was a bit surprised because everyone on the team told me that that amateur is much harder than rookie and pro is so much harder than amateur and master and so on. And I was always expecting now the big shock when I promote. And I think because my own knowledge increased, I didn't really felt that shock. So I just kept going, and I was like, okay, if I fail, I failed, and it's the end. of the journey towards elite. But just let's try. I don't have much to lose because I can go back to amateur. I was a bit surprised that I made it to elite, but then somehow when I got there, then the big difference is between getting to elite, which I think if you really want it, it's not that hard if you force it with premium tires or so. But then to be competitive in elite, there is, I think, a really big gap, and it took me, I think, like 15 seasons to go from just making it there to be competitive and win titles.
Okay, you feel that there's a massive chasm between master and elite compared to like the other gaps between the other groups.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't really know how amateur and pro is because I've never been there since my first season. I always dropped back to master, and so I don't really have that experience in amateur and pro, so I can't really tell a lot about the difference. But I always felt like there's a huge difference between master and elite. And master, you can, if you're a manager that can succeed in elite, then you can easily promote on your course and save like 100 million, which gives you the edge. I think it's very hard to prepare yourself in elite. I think the only one who is good enough for that is probably Roland. And I probably have to spend like several hours every day just to get my account managed well enough that I can really build my package in elite, because now people, they promote with a lot of cash, they get promo sponsors, and then they push really hard, and to make money there where everyone is basically overspending money they brought and sponsors is very difficult.
Fair enough. I mean, I've never been up to the top two, so I never kind of understood the difference between the master groups and elite itself. But like you said, after your promotion to master and elite first time, you've fluctuated between the two. Why do you feel you've been going down and going up all the time? Is it more because of balancing books and trying to get your finances packaged a little bit better, or was it just too difficult to stay in elite in that period?
Well, I think promoting to elite and dropping back is a good way to improve your package. Also, not every promotion was wanted promotion.
Yeah.
There were some seasons where I took Yokos and I just wanted to take it easy, but somehow I felt it was always difficult to not promote from master. Sometimes no managers wanted to promote, or they weren't quick enough, and then I somehow ended always in promotion spot, and then I decided, okay, then just bounce forth and back if it's quite easy to promote. So I just was like, okay, then I built my package for so long till I'm competitive, so a bit perfectionistic, and did that 15 seasons. And I think I needed to take some mocking during that time, but I saw my package improving, so I took that.
Nice, fair. And so obviously you've been promoted, you've been fluctuating between master and elite. It was during this time you also moved from your old team, Hornets, to what is now your current team, Nuvolari. So how did that move come about? Like, why did you want to move from Hornets to Nuvolari?
To be honest, in Nuvolari, there wasn't really anything left. I think there were like 5 managers, of whom 2 were active, and it wasn't really improving. It got worse, and I also didn't really have the motivation to always keep everything up. It's quite exhausting if you don't have the success building a team. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's the time to start looking for a better team. And then, yeah, I think Nuvolari was the best team that was looking for a manager at that time. And then I contacted Dede and wrote a bit with him, and I ended up being one of the recruits together with Ahmed.
Oh, yes.
I came with him. We were the 2 that made it to the pro. process.
The Ahmet situation. Here we go again. Yes. What's your opinion on the Ahmet situation? Actually, we'll talk a little bit about this. I've got Chu's opinion on it. I've got
You like
Ahmed's opinion.
drama.
I don't like drama. You brought up yourself. I didn't know you were part of this. But no, what do you think? Like, obviously.
But I mean, I didn't really because I got there at the same time when Ahmed joined, so I didn't knew what was prior to that, the discussion about him and what people said if he's a good candidate. I didn't knew about that edifice stuff. I just heard in the end that he was leaving and that people weren't happy because he said he won't leave, and then he did. But actually, I didn't really got that much of this because I was just joining and getting into the team, and what's the history I didn't knew anything about. So I think it's always unfortunately when a manager leaves, but for me it was like not terribly. So I just kept going.
Fair. No, I would have thought, because obviously, like I said, he only stayed for about a couple of seasons, so I didn't know whether you had like a more like, more firm stance as to why you join and then you leave a couple of seasons later. But no, that's fair enough. We'll skip Ahmed now for now, and we'll carry on with your Nuvolari career. So you joined, straight into what is now the main I won't say the main Nuvolari team, but the one that's pushing for championships and stuff like that. So obviously, I'm part of Nuvolari family. We've got two, three main teams at the moment. You got put into the Pirates, which is the big boys, and then we've got racing and you got Predators. Was the Pirates team the only one that was recruiting at that time, or was there more people? Was there more teams that were recruiting as well within the Nuvolari family when you applied?
What?
Well, when you applied for Nuvolari, was the Pirates team the only one that was recruiting, or was racing and?
I think there was one open spot in Pirates and one open spot in Predators, and Ahmed wanted to be in the Predators team because he had friends there, I remember. Okay. So I ended up being in Pirates, which I think I also liked that because there were like people I knew I raced against, like Dede or Ayman, and so I preferred being in Pirates. And Ahmed in Predator, so it was quite easy to just get us there.
Fair. I mean, what was your initial thoughts, like your first few seasons within Nuvolari? How did you feel? Did you integrate in quite easily, or was it kind of a difficult struggle to try to fit in?
Yeah, I think it is. Nuvolari is it's an Italian team, and I feel like Italian is very open and very. It's like a familia.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's very open and positive and a bit more, emotional, and so it's quite easy to fit in. And I think the structure is very professional. The team tool, I think Nuvolari makes things very, very comfortable to play the game, and I think Dede is, apart from the mocking we always do, but I think he's doing a really good job keeping those IT things up, because I'm, for example, I don't really know about IT and stuff, so I couldn't really program something like that. I can do like the formulas, but then I have to give the formulas to Dede and say let's implement it somewhere. I only know Excel, so
That's no, yeah. Nivolo, when I first saw that was incredible. Just the sheer size of it, and kind of, it's not complex when you look at it, but I'm pretty sure behind the scenes it's so complicated to try to keep up and to try to maintain that mass of data storage and stuff like that. So it's pretty incredible. Did you feel joining Nuvolari helped you push that boundary of floating from master to elite to then becoming an elite contender, an elite champion contender? Like, do you feel that move was beneficial for that in that regard?
I think that tool was helping me a lot. So I think in master there were times where I didn't have the tool. I had to use like I had to manually do the setup and so on, and it was quite annoying to do that. And I think getting there made things a lot easier, and having a good tool was a nice addition. So I think it helped. Yeah.
Nice. Obviously, you've won your first title in season 72, and obviously won back to back as a as the new elite champion. How did that come about? Did you like how long was this plan going for before you finally managed to win that elite title?
Well, I think when I really said that now I'm preparing for elite championship was maybe 10 to 12 seasons,
Yeah.
bouncing forth and back like we discussed. And then when I finally felt like my package is ready, then I tried to do like 2 season driver training and retain and get the best package out there. And if I win, I will try to keep pushing until my package doesn't allow it anymore and my driver is not good enough. So I ended up pushing 4 seasons and winning the first 2. But I came second in the 3rd and 4th season because Roland was too well prepared, and I came from like 2 championship seasons, and my driver suffered, and also my car. I mean, if you come from a just normal season, then you can align your car perfectly for the next season. Well, if you come from a championship season, then your car is like it is, and if you're racing against someone like Roland, who's an exceptional manager, then it's almost impossible to win there. So I ended up second in the third and fourth try, which was okay. But of course I was hoping to be closer and giving a harder fight.
I mean, you still managed that, and obviously you finished second on your 3rd or 4th season, and then you've relegated to master the season after. Was that just to kind of recover and like reset for another push?
Yeah, I think rebuilding an elite is a big disadvantage. I mean, it's more maybe, yeah, it's a harder difficulty degree if you do it in elite. But in the end, I think you should just go the way that gives you the best preparation, because there is no bonus points to do it in this or that way. Then you just do it the way you think it's best. And in master, I can save sponsors. I can maybe promote with 130 million and get a promo sponsor and train a driver. And so I always thought there is a huge advantage to that. And so I knew if I was going to push again, I'd do it with a preparation for master again.
Have you never had that thought of maybe relegating below master? Like, was master always going to be like the minimum level you were going to play at?
Yeah, I don't think it's now very good to relegate back to amateur, because your staff and facilities is capped to 40. You're only now negotiating with, I think, 5 sponsors at max in amateur. You always lose a lot of money when you promote. So I always found master easy enough that it's easy to rebuild there and make a lot of money in sponsors and train a driver. So I don't really see any sense in going down further, because I would just lose staff, facility, sponsors, and so on. And then the way back is pretty long, and maybe with promo sponsors, but also I think racing in pro and amateur wouldn't be really fun for me. I think master was always bouncing back to master, where you can take some time to breathe. That was always quite nice.
Yeah, fair. I mean, you only relegated for a couple of seasons, and then you bounced back to elite, and then obviously season 83, your final season, your biggest, your send off career. Winning a title now, was this title planned at all? And were you planning on leaving after the season, regardless of whether you won?
I always wanted. I think I always wanted to end with a positive feeling, and not just dying away and then somehow being mad that everything's not going well and then go, because now I've spent 6 years and way too many hours in this game. So I thought maybe then it's a good thing to get done with it in a positive way. And this is actually what motivated me to push again, because I had some motivation issues after I pushed, because I had that feeling once you win the championship, most people aim for that, and then you're there, and then what's next? So I think most people I experience that they have motivation issues after they win the championship, because then there isn't really any other goal. You can repeat it, but it's always like pretty much the same then. And then you're there, and what's next? And then most people say, okay, now I've achieved what I wanted, and then they're not putting that much effort in it. And I also had that problem, and then I said, okay, now concentrate, get one more title, retire in peace. And now I'm quite happy that it worked out, even though Walter gave a very good fight and I didn't start it very well into the season. But now I'm quite happy and don't regret retiring.
If you would have not won the title this year, would you have gone another season to try to win it, or like?
It depends on where my package would have been. I mean, let's say if I was behind very far, very quickly, and I would have given up, and then I could have probably built my package in a way that I would be very competitive in the second season. But I mean, if it's close, at some point I would have probably went all out, and if I then didn't made it, then I probably would have retired, because there was now, let's say, okay, I spent 47 million for the final race. So now if I had to push again, it wouldn't work, but because I think there are now really strong packages at the starting line with Jasper and Roland and George. There are a lot of people looking very strong and a lot of good drivers in the game. So I think now it wouldn't work to win the title. If I knew it earlier and I would have planned back-to-back, then I would have tried maybe to win with a minimal margin against Walter and prepare my car in the best way possible and save as much money as possible. Then, but now I really didn't have the motivation to go back-to-back again, because I had done that, and now I could just finish with a solid season. And
I mean, not only an elite title, but also a team championship with Nuvolari. Surely that's like the perfect season. Obviously, we didn't get the cup, but
that is a bit unfortunate. But I think that would be a bit too romantic.
No, true, very true. Yeah, surely you must be happy with your final season. Obviously, it's sad to see you go, but surely you must. It must feel a bit weird leaving without having to come back to race again.
Let's see. I will probably feel a bit empty on Tuesdays and Fridays. Not sure what to do with the spare time. I think
okay.
At some point it started feeling a bit like work, because I was like, it was just for winning, and this was made the hours worth it. But now I feel like to always spend a lot of hours. I mean, you have other things in life, and always spend a lot of hours to achieve always the same in a browser game at some point doesn't feel really useful, even though it was fun for quite a while. But now I'm at a point where I don't feel like I want to spend like another 1,000 hours just to get like a fourth or fifth cup. So this is also why I left primarily.
Three trilogies are always good, so it's always good to win 3. Who wants to win 10 anyway? It's good. But
I wonder if Roland one day retires, or if when he's like 80, has won 387 cups.
That will be interesting, actually, to see. I mean, Roland, as far as I know, it's a complete machine. He's a computer that's been been marked by people, and has been sent by Vlad to play this game. So it is what it is.
Computers also have infinite life expectancy, so I think he can live on forever, and he will probably be the last manager out there with his AI system.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot more Rolands coming out, that's for sure. But yeah, I know it's too early to ask now, but would you feel as though you might come back in maybe a year or two time, like having this little year, like maybe a couple of year break and coming back? Would that be an opportunity? Or
I think, well, no, it would just be like a repetition of 6 years ago. And I don't think that I have the motivation to rebuild everything, because I'm not sure. I have experienced basically everything in the game, and there is not anything new. I could imagine maybe doing some research with a disguised account in Rookie or so, be a bit in the background for the team. But I think seriously racing is not really on my bucket list at the moment. But maybe after some years, I don't know. But currently, it's like goodbye forever in racing. So.
You're still going to be part of the Nuvolari Discords? Will you still be a part of our team? Obviously, we've got a couple of teams that you could, fit in. For people who don't really race or do that, you're going to be still going to be, well, not actively, but passively, just talking, have a little chat with the team. Occasionally help out, maybe, I don't know, but you still be part of the family, right? You still be there. Just having
you don't leave La Familia.
Of course.
Otherwise, they're sending it quad.
That's true. Obviously, also there's the GPRO meeting in October. Is that something that you're interested in maybe attending to see everyone, or
where is that?
It's in Barcelona in Spain. Obviously, with the current situations, it's kind of difficult to try to see if that's actually 100% going. But
yeah, generally, I think it would be cool meeting people in real life, but I'm not sure if I'm willing to travel like thousands of kilometers. It's probably for me. I think I don't like traveling that much. I always feel like a bit dizzy when I travel and tired, and so I probably like a meeting via Zoom. I think is quite cool because you can also talk with people, and I don't really see the need to like travel thousands of kilometers and also spend quite some money just to do the same conversation in person. So I'd probably not be there, but maybe in live stream and stuff like that, I could imagine appearing and talk a bit to people.
Hey, it's yours and Flo's live streams. So, you definitely got to be there for some of them, man. But no, it's definitely sad to see you leave GPRO. I've only joined Nuvolari for a season, but the impact that you have throughout the game, on and off, it's huge. And it is going to be sad to see you leave. That's for sure. But enough about GPRO. We'll stop talking about that for a minute. I want to speak more about you. Kind of what kind of hobbies do you have like in life other than GPRO or like anything else?
Well, I actually have to say that you brought me back into chess with your chess league because I played in a club when I was like 13 to 16, 15, 16. And after that, I had a break of 6 years now. But now I somehow feel like motivated to start playing again. Also, when can Grandmaster League? We are waiting.
You know what? I've been putting it off. I've been trying to go, but now I'm running all the Tokyo Olympic Games. After that, the chess league will start again. I will.
Okay.
I am guaranteeing this. It's definitely starting again.
We got that on video.
I know exactly. Yeah, I will. No, because it's such a great, like. There's so many people that play chess, not only on GPRO but obviously in the whole world. And seeing it in GPRO, you just see more and more people wanting to join. So I really do want to keep this league going. and just to see people
I mean,
play.
you put really a lot of effort in it, all those statistics and ELO rankings, and now with the podcast, I think I appreciate all your work. I think it's really.
Well, I've stopped the podcast for a little bit. I mean, you're the grand exception. A lot of people have messaged me wanting you to be on this show ever since you've said that you're retiring. So I've got to have a special one-off, podcast with you. But yeah, I do love statistics. Like I said, like with yourself, like numbers. I'm really, really intrigued in numbers, and I just love looking at kind of stats and stuff like that. That's why I created the All About GPRO game, where it's all about stats within GPRO and like kind of statistics and kind of history and all that kind of stuff. And it's just really interesting to me. So yeah, creating my own elo, creating the GPRO elo system for chess is it's definitely tough to start off with, but eventually you start getting used to doing it. So, but how are you finding chess so far? Are you playing like in real life now, like other than in GPRO? Are you playing elsewhere?
No, currently I only playing online a bit on Chess and chess.com. But I need to start studying openings a bit because I always get trashed there. And if I want to be competitive in the Grandmasters League, then I think I need to get some books. Or I actually got some books from downstairs that I had that I never looked in because I was lazy. So maybe I should start it because my elo is a bit worse than it was when I was a kid, which is not a good sign. But I was away for some years, so the bad thing is also that I can't play any more games until you start the new leagues because then my elo is probably dropping too low and then I'm out of the Grandmasters League. And
it's your elo is perfectly fine at the moment. I think you're like third or fourth at the moment. Xavier has said that he's not going to play anymore. But
he's out. Okay, maybe then I can play one of the games.
there'll be a lot more. Yeah, there's a lot of people down there that's very talented, like Anya. She's very talented in chess. You got Joaquin, who's very good. Yeah, they just got a lot of people that are very, very, very kind of talented on chess. So it'll be good to see the development of everyone and just how they improve.
I think it was interesting to see that the good players in the GPRO game were also pretty much the ones that were winning in chess. But I think there are some similarities, just logic and rational thinking. Maybe I think there were a lot of good players in the mix. So quite a good density. I think with like 1,200-1,300, you were 20s or so.
It's actually a good idea. I actually might go back, check my stats, and then see what group they're playing in GPRO, because I think there might be a good correlation there between the group that they're in GPRO compared to the position they are in the GPRO chess league. So that's very interesting, actually. One for me to think about. But other than chess, what other kind of hobbies do you have?
Well, what is also a bit number based. I started trading in the stock market because I think it's more profitable than playing online poker, because people think of online poker like you sitting there with a hoodie and waiting to go all in with 10,000 euros. But actually, if you play it for a profit, then you just have like 20,000 tabs open and you always try to play as many hands as possible and only play for a few euros. And then you basically, I mean, statistically, you get an average of maybe 5 to 10 euros an hour, because there also you have to pay poker stars or full tilt, which doesn't make it that lucrative, because basically the expectation value is against you in poker because there is some fee for the side. Well, in the stock market, it tends to go up like maybe 7-8% a year on average. So if you have that on your side, while you have to overcome it in poker. So I think in the stock market, if you do well there, it is quite good long term. Even, I mean, you can also do passive investing, get like 7-8% a year, and with the MSCI or something like that. So yeah, I think now it's a good time to invest, but now the charts are a bit high, so maybe it's not the ideal thing, but I think better late than never. So
Yeah. So how did you get into trading in the stock market? Like
well, I mean, I saw the stocks crashing very far down, and due to Corona. But even though, let's say, even stocks like Amazon or so, they went from 1,900 to 1,550 euros. Even though it was quite obvious that Corona is good for them, because if people are at home and they do e-commerce and send those things, then it would be a good investment if they get like 20% cheaper, and will probably get even stronger out of those Corona crisis. Then was a good investment. And then it was basically pretty simple thinking to invest, but it worked out quite well profit wise. And So I think you don't need to make it extremely complicated with day trading or so. Just think logically, have some patience, don't take too much risk, don't be too afraid. It's like always the golden middle, I think.
Yeah. Have you dabbled in cryptocurrency at all as well, or
I have a fraction in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I hope to become one of those people to forget about it and find it in 20 years and be a millionaire.
Yeah, that is the dream. That is the dream. It is very.
Yeah, but I'm probably not the type of guy to forget about that investment, which is bad. But yeah, I think in general, there is no real thing behind Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think it tends to go up, but there is basically no bottom to cryptocurrencies. Well, if you have a good company, then it's like it can't really go infinitely low, because then you would have an infinitely high profit. I mean, if a company which has a PE ratio of 10, so that means that you need to buy 10 euros of stocks to get 1 euro of profit back on those what the company makes. So after 10 years, you would have basically back. So if it now is half of that, you have 5. If it's half of that, it's 2.5. At some point, it would get a bit ridiculous. So I think it's a bit safer to go into stocks, but have a small fraction in cryptocurrencies. I think is fine.
Yeah, no, that seems fair. I mean, I've always had an interest in stock markets, but I've never dabbled in it myself. It just looks too much for me. Where when we're diving in, try to research which companies to invest in and which ones to not be investing in, and basing off that. Yeah, it's just for me personally, it just feels like too much, too much for me to handle. But you enjoying doing investing in stock in the stock market at all?
Yeah, I think I'm quite rational and I like numbers, so I'm not too nervous about it, because I think as long as you don't take too much risk, you always have to see if it drops, then everything is cheap. So you didn't have lost money. There's just a temporary discount on everything.
Fair enough. Go on. Any more hobbies other than the stock market and chess? Like any sports that you watch or play or?
Yeah, I did mid and long distance running in the past, and then I got into cycling, but currently I'm more trying bodybuilding, even though I'm just at the beginning. So I need to get things a bit working, but I think I've gained like 5-6 kilos of muscle as a start, and maybe I can improve my physique a bit, but I always want to maintain some athletic fitness and endurance, because I always did a lot of running and enjoyed it. So I'm still running and cycling once in a while.
Fair. I mean, what distances were you running usually back then or now? Or
I think my favorite distances and probably my best distances were 3,000 and 5,000 meters on the track. Yeah, I think usually 1,500 to 5,000 was usually my competition range. And
what is your 5K time? Like, what's your best time?
My PR is 15:54.
Not too bad. 50, yeah. Well, so what is it? 3 minute kilometer. That's about 4 minute miles. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah. I can't run, but less than 16 minutes. What's like the Olympic records or like the world record on
I think
5K?
the world record is now 12:35 from I forgot the name.
From someone.
Bekele had it for a while with 12:37, and now it was lowered by Joshua Chep, the guy, to 12:35. Now I remember he also broke the 10K to 26:11. But yeah, you always feel bad when you compare to that. Compared to other hobby runners, I was doing quite fine. I think I was about 10th in my region. But yeah, compared to Olympic, it's quite there's gap.
Have you ever competed? Have you ever did like competitions running at all, or?
I once raced in the German youth championships over 5,000 meters. Yeah, I came I came fourth twice in the state championships. But usually I just ran normal track meetings in my region, and yeah.
You said you're starting to get into cycling as well. Kind of how did that spark out? Like how did that spark about? Like what started it?
I had quite some problems with injuries while running with Achilles tendon and knees, and I didn't have those problems in cycling, and I could train more volume, which I couldn't in running, where I only did like 45 kilometers a week, which is not that much actually for competitive running. Most do like 100, 120, 150 if it's really competitive hobby runners. So I always had a disadvantage, and then in cycling I could do more, but it got me hooked. But I lost a bit the motivation because to always go like on 3 to 4 hour rides, it just costs so much energy, and you come home and you're just tired and you don't really want to do anything else and just do cycling. You start neglecting a few other things in life. So yeah, then I took it a bit easier. I started taking it a bit easier a year ago, and now I'm going to the gym and do everything, but just for fun. I don't really want to do it like orientated towards performance, and just maybe enjoy it a bit more. I'm getting old.
I'm 23. I'm 29. It's 23 is not old. Come on. Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, yeah, cycling has always been that one that's just been like, I never know kind of what the distance is that's kind of achievable or like acceptable to do, cycling wise. Like you said, running for competitive running is 100 to 120 kilometers. Like cycling, you must do what, double that surely for a week.
Yeah, I think professional cyclists tend to be somewhere, I think it's probably 600 to 800 kilometers.
Oh, wow. Okay, geez.
It's very, very time consuming. So like it depends a bit. If you're like a track sprinter, it's probably less. But if you're a Tour de France rider, they are often doing like 6-7 hour rides to prepare for the stage races. And I think it's basically like a 40-hour job for them. And you're not doing anything else. I don't know if it's actually that's such a nice life, because you're always under pressure. You always have to suffer several hours a day, and most of them aren't even getting that much money. So at some points I thought there were better ways to get joy despite suffering all the time.
Yeah, 100%. Are you following the Olympics this year? Have you been watching the Olympics?
Yeah, I will. Well, you reminded me. I actually today was a cycling race. I wanted to watch the replay of it, but I already got spoiled by a friend that Richard Carapaz won. So
nice.
I'm a bit annoyed. I always get spoiled when I try to watch it later, and because of the time dilation, it's not ideal. But Yeah, because of Corona, there's not that much. You don't hear that much about the Olympics, and there's not this positive feeling about it somehow.
Yeah, I think it's just mainly just because of the pandemic that's been happening for the last couple of years. It's definitely drained the life out of everyone, and even though we have the Olympics and the initial thrill just doesn't seem to be there. There's no kind of pop or anything yeah, these years have just been awful in terms of everything.
I mean, it's just as awful as 2020.
Yeah.
Let's see how 2022 comes. We always say it can't get worse, but let's see what mutation comes.
I mean, this year, was better than 2020. That's for sure. But
the only good thing is that I got into the stock market quite cheaply, but I think it's a very egoistic view. Well, actually, I started another hobby due to Corona because we had like the lockdown. It wasn't really lockdown, but we call it lockdown because you weren't allowed to meet any people. So you were allowed to go outside but not meeting anyone. So I actually started doing arts and draw and paints. So yeah, but I wouldn't want to do that all the time. So becoming a painter or so wouldn't really do it. I think when you start doing something 8 hours a day for money, then a lot of things doesn't make fun anymore.
Yeah. Okay. And any other hobbies that we want to? Are you into Formula One at all? Like obviously you search for GPRO as a game.
I was once at the Nürburgring, which is kind of funny because it was my last race yesterday.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, but yeah, I'm not. I watch the replays on YouTube, but I'm not that into. Actually, I'm not really playing GPRO too much because of motorsports, but I think it's more like just a strategy game. There are some people who see it maybe as a connection to Formula One, but I mean, it's not. You're not racing a car. It's not. It's basically more. I think liking chess is more important than liking Formula One to like GPRO. I think it's closer to that.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I'm all out of questions, to be honest. Like, I didn't think you would be speaking.
I mean, I could show. You wanna? I mean, you can do screen sharing. I think via Zoom. I could show you some of the drawings I did.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, definitely go ahead. Yeah.
Let's see. You have to activate that I can share the screen.
Oh, okay. Give us a minute. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Advanced sharing options.
Yeah, I can do it now.
Okay. There you go. For people watching, you can see this now.
So this was one of the things I did. It is a scratch board. You basically just get a black cartoon, and then you have like a sharp thing where you scratch it. There is some white stuff underneath it. So basically, you scratch the white lines out of this. You can draw basically by scratching white lines off the board, and there are different peaks where you can.
I don't know if you're showing the picture now, but I can just see your.
You can see the picture.
No, I can't see the picture. No, it's just the. You just show your desktop. Well, not desktop, but your folder.
Wait. I know what's the problem. I think it's just showing the folder.
Yeah.
Then I stop it. And try it again. I didn't open it, so maybe that now. Okay, now maybe can you see it now?
Yes, I can see it now.
Okay.
Oh wow, gee, okay. Damn. When did you start doing arts and drawing?
During Corona. Well, I mean, I did maybe a few drawings in arts in school. There is actually a picture. I can also show that, which is me playing chess. I thought it would be quite fitting because you started the GPRO Chess League. But yeah, actually, I started during Corona lockdown when I had some time, and I thought maybe it's better than complaining about everything. Just do something productive and
Yeah.
try
I mean,
something new that you.
this painting is insane. Like you said you scratched it to create the white lines.
Yeah, it's like basically a bit like a knife, and
Yeah.
then where the knife scratches, it gets white, and you can basically the way you hold it, you can do thicker or thinner lines, and you have some
Yeah.
different peaks, and then you scratch it in
Oh,
there.
this is insane. This is well good.
Thanks.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, show us a couple more.
But this is actually a copy of a drawing I did in school.
Wow.
And because I was a bit afraid, I don't. My arts teacher had the tendency to lose things you
Oh, okay.
you hand in, and I thought maybe it would be sad if the drawing never appears again. So as you can see, it's basically a copy. I put it on the printer and just hold the one part because it was a DIN A3 sheet, and I had to do copy to DIN
Two
A4.
copies.
Yeah. So it's a bit unfortunate because now there is this ugly line
Yeah.
in the middle. But I mean, it's at least I have the memory because somehow I was right. It never appeared again, and it
Okay.
was just somewhere gone. And so now I have to live with this
Oh.
copy, but better.
It's a nice picture. Yeah, it's a good picture. I'm assuming it's a drawing of a picture that someone's taken of you, or is it?
Yeah, I think that was during my chess time. I was 16, and I thought maybe it would be a good idea for a self-portrait to do it in one front of a chessboard. And then I put my chessboard out, and my father took that picture of me, and then I could orientate the drawing based on
Oh,
that.
so no, nice picture. No, it's good. So yeah.
I tried oil paint also. Oil paint is quite difficult to mix the colors, so this was my first try. Was a
Oh
present
wow,
for my young cousin. Um,
that looks really cool. The way that he's reflecting on himself.
yeah, basically to motivate. So my childhood wasn't always easy, so I thought maybe it would have been a good motivation to have it. But I think I can relate to that, to always look positive in the future and see what you can be, and don't care about other things.
No,
Uh,
nice, yeah.
yeah, I show one last one. This was the last one I painted. It's quite a large one. It's 100 centimeters times 50 centimeters. It's in our living room. My father likes mountains. He always has like outdoor magazines, and my mother wanted something bright with colors, and then I made this as a compromise. So my parents both both liked the picture.
Oh, this is really nice, really good. Yeah. Wow. No, this is nice. I like the way that you did the shades as well. Um, for the shadows for the mountains that come around. It does really look, proper 3D and everything. And yeah, no, really nice. Now, for that to start, at the start of lockdown, it's definitely been, definitely got a knack for it. Definitely got a talent for painting and drawing. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm always just trying a lot of things, but maybe my weakness is I don't really stick to it. So I always do a lot of stuff, but then once I did it, I want to try something new. I think I always find it boring to repeat something. I always somehow want to try something new and see if it works out. So currently I have to say my motivation is not that high to draw anything more. So maybe with some time in between, I want to do something again.
It's there's nothing wrong with trying new things every time. So but yeah, definitely. If you're interested in something, go for it, and it doesn't matter if you lose interest afterwards, as long as you actually try out and do it.
I also I'm a lot of people making always laugh when I say that, but I'm actually also getting into rapping.
The rapping, okay.
Rapping, yeah. Every people always think I'm joking when I say that, and this is quite annoying to always have people laughing at you. But yeah, because of Corona, there isn't really any possibility to have events to participate in. Same for Poetry Slam, which I started 2 years ago. So I have like several texts in my desk. But maybe it's something to look forward to when Corona is.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was really into music, and yeah, rapping was kind of, I was early, probably like 15, 16. I loved writing poetry, and then that started me rapping, and then yeah, I think by age 20 I kind of gave up and didn't do any more after that. But no, it's nice. This is.
You wrote text yourself for rap, or?
I wrote. I mean, it's not on this computer, but I did write a few raps out. There might be one on YouTube for all I know, because I remember I did record something, and it's definitely on there somewhere. But I have no idea where to search for it. But no, yeah, like I created a band. I dabble in kind of FL Studio, and create beats and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just I've just been kind of casually doing that for the last 10 years. Haven't done anything as of late, but you know, I might go. Like, you're doing rapping now, so you know, you might motivate me to do some more rapping soon. So you know, definitely, yeah, would be interesting.
I mean, maybe one day we make an album together.
Oh, mate, I'm definitely up for that. Don't worry about that. We've got a lot of very talented musicians in in GPR as well. So yeah, definitely be good. But no, but yeah, thank you very much, man, for taking your time to talk. It's been just amazing talking to you, and obviously sad that you're leaving, but you know, you're not going to leave forever. I mean, you're leaving the racing side, but we'll definitely see you maybe on the forums in the future.
Yeah, well, I will keep if it's okay. I will keep participating in the chess leagues.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, you're always welcome for that one for sure. But no, really interesting to speak to you. Yeah. Any final words you want to say to everyone in GPRO?
Yeah, we wanted to thank everyone. I think GPRO is a very nice community, and I think GPRO, either you don't like the game at all or you love it. Yeah. And those people who don't like it, they leave early. And I think what remains is a very cool community. And I think it's also what kept me there for several years, because I mean, the game is not that super I mean, it's difficult, but it's not like super. It doesn't have super many features, so it's basically always the same. But I think maybe it's what makes it such a cool game, that it's simple, but still so much possibilities to play it, and also the forum community. And I want to thank everyone for the time. It was very nice, and yeah, I mean, if I think about it, how coincidentally I picked up the game, and now I think, spent 3,000 hours in it. That makes you start thinking about what other things you never experience. So, I mean, there are maybe like 100 things in life which just maybe appeared by coincidence, and this is only one that appeared to me. So, yeah, it's always where the paths go, you can't really predict it. But I'm really glad I clicked that link in the number 3 in the Google search, and I think it's changed a lot in the past years. And now thanks for everything, and see ya in GPRO heaven.
No, thank you, man. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And I want to thank everyone else for listening to this very special GPRO podcast. Don't know if I'm going to carry this on at the moment. I still want a little break. My work's just been absolutely hectic. So, but yeah, I had to bring Jan on for a special podcast. But no, thank you everyone for listening, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.